From
Ethan fucking Ralph.
All right, there we go. Yo,
Mersh, can you hear me?
yeah, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Okay, I had
Ralph's
to
on.
do a few things here. My Google Voice, it's weird. Whatever. I had to pull up the desktop settings on my phone, and it worked. I'm good. I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks.
So what's going on, buddy? How you?
So, dude, they're doing some type of fucking karaoke in my hotel. I don't know. These are very festive people. So
they're very boisterous, and they like to sing.
yeah. It's 9:18 at night. I mean, whatever. You know, I'm not. I'm fucking grown or whatever. Like, it's fine to sing, but it's Monday night. Like, I didn't really expect a karaoke night.
Are you are you
tonight.
home already? Or are you fucking still in?
Dude, I'm still in El Salvador.
Jesus.
What the fuck? Yeah, so I'm not at the fucking shithole house though. I'm at a nice hotel, but I'm still here because they wanted more than my fucking plane ticket cost to change my flight. So I said fuck it. So I just stayed here.
Yeah, did they?
I'm going back on Wednesday morning though.
So, okay, but all right. So you gotta give people background because we watched the whole thing unfold live the night of. But please, start from the beginning. How did you get roped into an El Salvadorian trap house version of Fish Tank in the first place?
Well, believe it or not, it was my great idea to get involved with this. There was I guess somebody had sent in a super chat or something, and this witch character who was probably the hottest bitch there. Of course, she left before I got there because she had a fight with the producers. Imagine that, and she vacated the premises, and she's from El Salvador, I think. Anyway, she did a bit. Well, it wasn't a bit. She read my tarot cards or some shit. And I thought it was funny. And at first I thought they were in Mexico. So it was, I was like, oh, no big deal to just hop over. That'd be fun. Yeah, but they're not. They're in El Salvador. So anyway, I got to talking to the producer. And of course, he completely lied about how we were going to do it. And I have it recorded, whatever. I could release it if I really wanted to be a prick. But he was like, yeah, he really wanted me to be a part of it. And he had the idea for me to play this character who was like a TV executive or some shit. I don't know. The idea was pretty dumb, honestly. But he said, none of these people know you. You can just come in and play a character and you can, do whatever creative control you want. And I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds fun. So he paid for my flight. They came and got me from the airport. And all that stuff, and then
I saw you. When I was getting ready the day of, I was just running errands, and I was scrolling through my phone when I stopped to eat, and I saw you on Twitter, and you're like, "I'm in El Salvador, and they haven't picked me up yet." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this fucking madman actually went there." I was like, "Jesus Christ, man."
Yeah, I think even the haters have to give me credit because I actually, I'm in El Salvador. I came and did what I said I was going to do. Now things quickly devolved. And so first off, it was his idea for me to play a character in the first place, which I was fine with. I thought would be fun. But he's like, yeah, we just gave them your real name and, they know you're a streamer. I think that he still said I might be an investor or something. I don't know. They're all fucking retarded and stupid as fuck. So that was my first sign that, okay, things are not what I was told they were gonna be, right? So I get ready and I go up there. I've been there maybe about 30 minutes an hour. So I found that out. And I'm like, okay. Now my idea was I didn't drink. I wasn't part of the drinking challenge, but my idea was to get them all wasted, basically. Which, thinking back, that probably wasn't the best idea. But regardless, so we go in and do that. Instead of hard liquor, it was just the shitty ass beer they have in El Salvador, and then some fucking Guatemalan fucking big swill. I don't even know, Quetamazol or some shit. It was 17%. I was thinking 40% alcohol. Regardless, they did drink a shit ton of alcohol. I broke some bottle.
I did see that. Like I said, we were watching that. Because this is what happened on our end. I was pretty much ready to just call it a night anyway. And fucking one of my mods was like, Ralph's on that fucking Mexican spick tank thing. And I'm like, oh shit, that's right. So then I'm looking for it. And then I saw the internet started tweeting all right, he's in there and blah, blah, blah. And I saw you break the bottle. And I saw them all chanting and shit. And I was like, oh, this is all right, cool, whatever. So then we're watching it. But I was the whole time going like, I don't like the feeling of this. I don't know why. I don't fucking trust these El Salvadorans. And then you got off camera, and then like me and a bunch of other streamers were all sniping, obviously, the show.
Sure.
And it was just a bunch of fucking, little grubby Mexican, like a bunch of Mayan looking people just drinking and chanting and singing fucking Bad Bunny music. And everybody in the chat was just literally going like, this fucking sucks. This fucking, let's go. Like, we want the fucking Ralph Amel. Where's Ralph? And like, even their account was going like, don't worry, we're gonna. And they said something about he's downstairs doing Galaxy Gas or something, is what they said. And we're like, oh god, this is gonna go fucking poorly if they. And then I saw they switched to a camera. I don't know why they did this.
Unfortunately, I was not doing Galaxy Gas, by the way. But anyway, yeah, continue, sir.
But no, they bring these two guys, and like, I don't know why they did this. If this didn't make sense from a production standpoint, but they went in a room and plotted against you like on camera. And I was like, what's the point of this being fish tanky if the guy is being instructed on camera, and they're like, yo, when this Ralph guy comes up, blah, 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 just press him or whatever, and we're going to give him shit and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, oh, and that's when I sent you a DM. And I was like, and by the way, I didn't tell the audience that, yeah, I did try to cuck the content. I DM'd Ralph and was like, yo, this is a setup, dog. Like, I don't got a good feeling about this. And he didn't see it till like long after the shit transpired. I was like, oh no, Ralph's not good. It was like that scene in The Sopranos when they're trying to call Bobby, and he's sitting there playing with his fucking trains. And it's like, oh no, Bobby, pick up, don't leave your phone in the car. So then you're like off camera, and then you come back and everything, and you sit down, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fuck with this dude. And look, props to you. We played the video 100 times on the show. Props to you for literally letting impress you just enough that you didn't look totally unreasonable, and then you punched the ball in the face and then left. Like, because if you had just hit him right away, it would have been weird. But you were kind of like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, stop! Like,
well, don't
fuck with me, dude." So, and they kept fucking being, and then you just finally you were like, "All right, dude, that's how we're doing it."
Well, okay, so again, I went downstairs. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but it's better with you given the background and we having the conversation. So I went downstairs. This is we were I was getting along with people, it was a crazy situation or whatever, but I didn't have any heat with anybody. And, I guess they wanted to make some heat there. Anyway, so I had started talking to them, and we had the idea to order hamburgers. I was going to order cheeseburgers specifically. I was going to order the whole house cheeseburgers because I was fucking hungry. And so I went and I told the production guy, Roberto, who, I actually get along with the guy when he's not trying to plot and scheme. I don't like being worked. I don't like being lied to. If I would have known what was going on, it would have been a different, situation, right? Like anyway, I'll get to that. So he's like, no, we'll order the cheeseburgers. No big deal. What do you want? So he orders me McDonald's. He orders all them McDonald's. He does not get the house McDonald's. So I go down there. I'm waiting on the McDonald's. I fall asleep. And then he comes in there with the McDonald's. I eat. I'm still tired because I've been up like 25, 30 hours and flew cross countries and shit.
Yeah.
And I start falling back asleep. And he's like, no, you got to get up. You got to go back in. And you haven't really done anything. And So kind of like, doesn't force me. Obviously can't force me, but he's like guilt tripping me. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll go back in. So I wasn't really that pleased anyway because I wanted to go to sleep. So I go in there, and this fucking washout MMA freak, absolute.
That was the guy that was plotting with the dude on camera. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Now, see, I didn't see Mersh's DM until later, after everything blew up, because there's no Wi-Fi in that fucking shitty ass house, and I do now, but I didn't pay for the extra data. So my phone works fine in Mexico and all that shit. But if you go to a different country, unless it's America, which is hilarious, you have to pay for like their extra data. It's like $20. So I just hadn't bothered at that point. So I didn't have Wi-Fi on my phone. So I didn't see it until later, till I made them give me Wi-Fi after all this shit happened. But so I go back in. It turns out this guy's Jewish too. I found out today, which is weird.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's really strange. That Scottish guy is Jewish too. He must have known who I was too, by the way,
Oh,
because he
he
had some
absolutely
type of.
did because he was talking shit. The moment the shit broke out and they went in another room, he had all this shit to talk about you on camera.
Yeah. I heard about some of that later, and it's like, okay, this guy obviously knew who I was. Regardless, the fucking Jewish MMA freak guy starts getting in my face and starts talking some gay shit. And he's like, "This guy's gonna suck your dick," and da 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 da. And there are gay people in the house. I'd already had that discussion earlier, and I'm like, "Okay, dude, like you said, I let it go for a minute, but he's like right in my face saying this gay shit, and I'm not even trying to act hard or whatever, but I've been in jail, right? And I don't give a fuck. The hardest motherfucker, if they're in your face saying some fucking gay ass shit nonstop, like eventually I'm gonna punch this guy. And so I pushed him off of me, and then he threw beer on the new jersey that I just bought, which I start slowly taking off the jersey, and then I hit him in the fucking face. And then that fucking Scottish Jew guy got up in my face, and I punched him too. And then they came in there. They acted surprised, like they were surprised that I hit these people in the face. Like I don't know. I had no knowledge about it. Them telling them to press me. If I would have known, I probably would have maybe had a different mindset. But to me, I just came in there and these people were fucking with me for no reason and talking some gay shit.
Well,
So
no, that's why when you finally reached out back to me and you're like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I was like, bro, just get out of there because you're 2-0. There's no way to there's nothing to win and everything to lose now at this point. That's like, you know what I mean? I was like, just bail out because you just had it. You just fucking handled business and it bounced. And I'm like, there's nothing you can do to go back to be to look any better, but you could go back and they could plot some shit. I'm like, at this point, you win. Bye. I'm out.
Well, you're totally correct. And they spent hours trying to convince me to go back in and all these different scenarios. None of the scenarios made sense, and they were all rushed as well. Just from a planning aspect, you would want to hype me up, right? And set a certain time for me to go back in so more people be watching, make it during the day, make it or prime time even. They don't have any fucking sense like that. They're flying by the seat of their pants. I don't understand how they're making any fucking money on this whatsoever because, the house is wired up. Now, the house itself, they probably got for the cheap.
Yeah, that house was a fucking dump, bro. I was saying the whole time, I'm like, it looked like a trap house. Like, that looked like so many houses I bought weed at where, it's just, there's, one piece of furniture and, an ashtray on the floor. You know what I mean? There's a boxing, there's a heavy bag hanging, and you're like, what is this? A lot of shirtless black guys hanging out. You're like, what is happening?
It could be epic if somebody had taken care of the property and the place, but that's not the case.
Or honestly, it could be epic if it is a dump, but you even trash the place even more. But they don't even do that. They're just getting drunk in a flop house. This looked like so many houses I lived in when I was in my early 20s. Like when you had 5 roommates and everybody was constantly stealing shit.
Yeah. I don't know. They did spend money on the tech though, because I was in the production room, and you could tell they had put some money into that part at least. And I don't really see how they're making money overall. They didn't even have the TTS set up until hours into my appearance, and I don't know.
And honestly, even regular fish tanks not even that good anymore. So it's what are people trying to? There's so many fish tank ripoffs, and it's the first fish tank was pretty dope. And then, I don't know, man. After that, it's people are too self-aware. They know what they're doing. It's not been as, to me anyway, I haven't been into Fish Tank. And that's not me shitting on Sam Hyde. I love MDE and all that, and I love everything he's done. But the second phase of Fish Tank's been too self-aware. And I'm like, eh. But to have, what, now it's just, hey, we're going to do it in El Salvador for, pesos. And you're like, all right, I guess.
Well, the thing is, that wasn't their idea. They just now linked up with Fish Tank, the day that I got there. And I guess Jet and them are, it's just free content for them pretty much, right? And so that's how they got on the site. It wasn't actually the Fish Tank team's idea. They kind of leached on to that. But yeah, the first season of Fish Tank, I did watch a good bit of that. I really didn't watch any other Fish Tank except some of the end of the last one. because that Asian chick on there had a nice ass, and I kind of got hooked into watching a little bit to see her act crazy.
I wish
But
they
that's
would
about
bring
it.
back the. I wish they'd bring back that channel. We were talking about it on Nightwave the other night. I'm sure you remember this. You remember like 4 or 5 years ago when, for like some reason out of the blue, there was that Russian channel, and like YouTube just let it run for like
Yeah,
months,
I do remember
and it
that.
was just Russians like torturing people and like beating the fuck out of each other, and like torturing each other, and like people would mass flag it, and for some reason it just didn't go away for months. And I'm like, they need to bring that shit back. Just like Slavs torturing each other drunk. Like, that's more
Yeah,
interesting.
I agree, and my thing with this, and I'll talk a little bit more in a sec, but like it could be so much better. Like I like the idea and the setting, although it'd be cooler in Mexico, to be honest. And they could have done a lot better with the female casting. Some of these bitches are not really primo. I think I could have done better with my eyes closed in terms of casting senoritas
Well, I
on
mean,
the
you got to
show,
remember
but
it's fucking El Salvador too. We're not talking about Mexico. There's a difference between the Mayan and the Aztec descendants, bro. There's just,
well,
you know what I
trust me, I
mean?
know, man.
The
I
further
was just
south
walking
you go,
around.
the worse it gets until you get to South America, and then it instantly gets good again.
Yeah, until you get to like Colombia, then it gets
Yeah.
crazy good.
But
But
there's a huge dead
uh
zone where you're like, oh man, these chicks look like little boys and shit.
well, I was talking about today, like the very top notch bitches walking around here are, really fine, but they're few and far in between, bro. Like, I maybe saw like three the whole day out today, and then the rest were left a lot to be desired. Let's just put it that way. Spoiled in Mexico. I'll also put it that way too. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
But
Mexico's
anyway,
retarded, bro. And even
yeah,
Mexico's
I don't
got
know. It'd
like,
be better in Mexico. But I like the idea. And looking back, the guy lied to me really to get me here, and then thought he was gonna, you know, fuck with me, right, and make me the content. I guess they got their moment, but I did too. I punched two motherfuckers in the face, and
yeah, but
going back in there.
I would say, man, be
Yeah,
grateful that it worked out, because like, I don't know, man, like, I'm glad it worked out for you, but I was like, there was some moments where I was like, this could go, like, they might just stab this motherfucker up.
I could have went sideways for sure.
I was like, I honestly thought at one point, I'm like, they could just take him on camera and stab him up. It's fucking El Salvador.
Dude, that's the thing, though. I know a lot of people think that, and it makes sense, but honestly, dude, I'm a gringo in El Salvador, and that means a lot in these countries. I hate to break it to folks, like they're not good. I mean, they will kill a gringo if it gets really crazy, but it has to be. You have to be involved in some real underworld shit for them to even think about killing a gringo. So,
Still though,
but
man,
they could have let me go.
I was giving shit because I'm like, there are a lot of Ralph haters out there, and I'm like, you can say whatever the fuck you want. He'll show up. He'll go in there. I'm like, you bitches
I
would
was
never
there.
go there. Like, say whatever you want. And I want to just say, most of there were even, your regular Ethan Ralph detractors that had to kind of go, okay, honestly, it was pretty based. Like, he went pretty based and left. But as always, there was still, of course, there's always a dozen or so that will you have them, I have them, like Nick Rekieta has them. There are some people that will never let somebody have a win, no matter how much, it is. And there was still a fucking handful of people on like Kiwi Farms being like, how is this a win? He just showed up and then ran away. And I'm like, he punched two people, some supposed MMA guy. And then, I don't know, you didn't get to see any of this. I'm sure you've seen it in subsequent viewings, but what we watched, because we didn't go to bed on Nightwave until like 4 a.m. You were out of there by like 2:50.
I was still there, though, is the thing. I was in the production room.
But we stayed watching because you left so much drama behind after you left. Like, the MMA guy cried. His girlfriend came in and they were crying together because he was leaving. He was packing his bags. He was being this big hysterical bitch about it. Then his boy came in, and him and his boy were crying. They were all crying over like him leaving. And it was like this hour and a half production of him whining about leaving. And I was like, how is this a Ralph L? MMA guy's in his room. That's why when you saw me tweet the picture of him hugging his girlfriend, and I'm like, I hope Ralph fucks this bitch. Because she was just in there like, no, baby,
she
it's
seemed
okay.
disappointed in him. Yeah, she seemed disappointed. Like, I don't know. He was whining and crying. They started singing Backstreet Boys songs. Two of the gay dudes made out with each other. And I'm sitting in the production room like, what the fuck? Like, what am I even what
Yeah.
did I get myself into? Like these people are fucking crazy. And they almost went in there and beat this guy up a couple times. They have a guard there that's like a fucking Sicario that looks like he's killed 3 or 4 people. And there were a couple times that he almost went in there and beat this guy. Like he would have beat this guy senseless. And they held him back though, so he didn't end up doing that, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that, and it was hours and hours, and they're gonna leave, and then they're not gonna leave. I don't know. It was just fucking
It was
dumb and
so
weak as
fucking
fuck.
funny though, man. And then somebody, and
Yeah.
then of course the guy was in there, like the translator was like, they're in Spanish, but you can hear him being like, "Yo, I was trying to be professional, and that's why I didn't hit him." And I'm like, we watched that thing 5, 10 times. I'm like, you weren't professional. You got like, you didn't see it coming. Like you got hit, and you were like, "Whoa." Like you know how it is. Like when it comes to fighting people, right? Like there are people that will get like this guy. I'm sure he goes to a little gym and practices jujitsu, but he's not an MMA guy because
No,
that
I
hit
would have got
like
beaten senseless.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like any guy would snap into it. You just fucking hit me, bro. You would do somebody's like, I was trying to be professional. It's like, no, you got hit and you stood there. You can't do that. You can't do because even if you're being professional, right? Like if you and me were at some event that other video streamers and shit were at, whatever, you came over and hit me, and then I hit you back, and like even if they threw me out, nobody would be like not on my side. They'd be like, "No, he hit you. You gotta hit him back." Like I didn't do anything out of line. Like I was sitting there, and if the dude hits me, I hit him back, and like just stood there, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's like." Virgie was in my chat going, "Oh, this guy's fucking. If he wanted to be an MMA guy, that fucking damn, that dream is over, dude."
That ship is that sailed. Yeah,
he was
and plus it's just
crying.
instinct. It's just instinct if somebody hits you in the face. Well, yeah, who's gonna want to hire this guy? He's a pussy fucking crying after I don't know what. I'm like 10 years older than him, 15 years older than him. Just hit him in the face, and he starts whining and crying and saying he's gonna call his lawyer. Now we found out about his heritage today. I guess it makes a little more sense. But
Oh, is he like
I
a rich kid? Oh no, because he's Jewish. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, if he's Jewish
yeah,
in El Salvador, his family probably owns El Salvador.
there is a like powerful Jewish contingent here, actually.
But like honestly, that would be such a weird like I would go, okay, do you really want to go to court where on camera you're plotting 5 minutes before that you're gonna fuck with me?
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes later you're being gay, touching me, trying to spill your beer on me on purpose. And in the video, I counted, you did at least 2 times go, hey man, like let's fucking cool it. Like and look, everyone, if you're a Western white man and you're civilized, you give everybody on average 2 of those where you go, hey man, hey, let's not do that, And if you give somebody, usually a second one, like, all right, man, look, dude, I'm not the one. After that, when they do it again, it's like, okay, you got 2. He gave you 2. He kept telling you the next one's going to be a foul. You're going to get ejected from the game with my fist. So, like, what do you want to do here?
Well, see, I didn't realize they riled him up, and told him to fuck with me until after.
That's when I sent you the text, was when they cut to the camera before. Yeah. And he was like, so this guy, Ethan Ralph's here, and he's supposed to be one of our special guests or whatever. But don't mean like that doesn't mean you can't press him. So like when he comes up here, like mess with him and shit, and like let's try to see like if he reacts or something. Like just try to.
Well, see, if I would have seen that, I would have called that fat fuck that runs the show out and told him to go fuck himself, because that was a complete setup from Jump Street, and I was told that wasn't going to happen. Now, if they had told me something different, if they just said, "Hey, you're going in here now, it's going to be a little different," right? But they didn't. They tried to fucking work me. I mean, that's exactly what they did, and that wasn't our agreement, right? Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a collaboration, a collaborative, creative endeavor. And
it would be like it would be like Sam Hyde going like telling Frank Castle, "Hey, come in, we're doing Fish Tank. I want you to come in. You just fuck with people in the house and whatever, and blah blah blah." And then Frank Castle shows up, and then Matt Serra comes over and just chokes out Frank Castle. You know what I mean? And you go, well, what the fuck is that? At least give me a heads up.
And of course, they picked the one MMA quote unquote guy in the house to fuck with me too. And I guess they thought that meant I wouldn't do something. But like you said, first off, I didn't know that was I just thought this guy had a problem out of nowhere for no reason. And I was really tired. Like I'd just been asleep, and that's like when I'm the meanest, honestly. Like I just woken up. I want to be asleep. I'm in here. These fucks are just like drunk as shit all over me, talking gay shit. And I reacted. And then well, what's happened since he started leaking shit to Cog, the pedophile from the UK, which just complete lies too. That I stopped up toilets that I didn't even use. Like I don't know, just silly ass, dumbass shit. Like I didn't even get mad, but it's funny because he had to come out and denounce Cog since then because Cog raped the 14-year-old.
Yeah, you gotta be careful who you get into bed with, bud.
Dude, you know what?
Cog tweeted at me today, and he's like, "Oh yeah, actually, guys like Mersh," and he tagged me. He's like, "Are like in denial, Ralph, can't punch for shit and blah blah blah." And I just retweeted him, and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, sir, but we're not taking any call." I said, "We're not taking questions from the audience right now. Go back to wherever the fuck you are, Cog." Yeah. Like, see, there have been a lot of little ankle biters lately where you're like, "Get the fuck, go back to your hole." It's like, remember in The Sopranos when he yells at Davey Scatino, "Get back in your fucking hole, Davey." You're doing a good job, Davey. You're doing a good job.
Well, I haven't mentioned Cog in like almost 3 months, but I figured now was a good time to bring him up because he got his card pulled by the same guy he was pestering in DMs to get some quote unquote information, which was total bullshit in the first place. But I messaged the producer because I still have a line to him if I want. And I was like, look, you might want to pick somebody better to give your little fake bullshit leaks to because Cog, I didn't go into Cog's history and all that stuff, but I was like, everybody hates this faggot and nobody really pays attention to him other than like he's like a nuisance pest, I was like, you might want to pick somebody better to leak this bullshit out. Then he goes, "Oh, damn, what do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, you're always welcome back." And I put the laughing emoji on that. I mean, I don't have a personal
honestly
beef with the guy,
I'll be honest with you, this guy sounds like your standard which I don't even mind people like that, your standard full of shit guy that's just constantly trying to keep his stupid empire float, you know what I mean? I
was just gonna say they got scared because yesterday and I saw he had said this in his messages to Cog, because I got out and they had said some shit and I was like, look, if they fuck with me further, I mean, it's fine to talk shit back and forth, but if it gets further than that, I'm going to dox their fucking address.
That's
I said that on my show. I mean, you know me. If it comes down to it, I don't give a fuck. And
what was it in San Salvador or whatever? I mean, you don't have to dox it. The major city, I'm assuming.
It's very close to where I'm at right now. It's like 6 minutes away, actually. In theory, the traffic here is insane, Mersh. Like, holy fuck. They do not follow any type of regulations, and half the road is drunk as fuck driving around. Like, I don't know, it's a madhouse. But
I don't know, man. I live in Florida, so it's kind of the same.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, they were talking shit, and I was like, look, if they fuck with me, dox my hotel, I'm gonna dox their address. And they took that as like a threat, even though I was just saying it was an option if they fucked with me to a certain level. I don't really have beef with them, even though they lied to me and all that shit, because I got a free trip to El Salvador. I got my moment.
You got content out of it. You got content out of it. And honestly, again, I've always been, I always tell people, I admit I'm biased. Like, when it comes to Ricada, there's just certain people I'm friends with. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be biased and say that I'm with that guy. But, you have occasionally done some shit where you didn't come off with a dub. And I've been willing to admit when you didn't exactly come off with a dub. Saturday night was an absolute dub fest. It was fucking hilarious. It was so fucking funny. The only thing that pissed me off was how much time we all invested watching El Salvadorian Fish Tank for what amounted to 6 minutes of gold, which was great. But it was the fact that we watched for another hour and a half just for the guy crying with his bags in the hallway. But bro, you went in and just completely derailed that bitch and then just left. And you didn't do it in an aggressive, shitty way where you're at fault. You came in, you were just trying to just chill, and then they made you fucking punch two people in the face and leave. And now their show is back to having 50 live viewers. Nobody cares.
Well, and again, I'm glad I'm glad it worked out that way because I mean, if it had to work out that way, right? Because it was them at fault. They fucked with me. I punched a couple people and left, and they were steadily trying to get me to go back in, but it just didn't make sense. And I already had there could only be L's really after that, either L's or disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either going to be like a letdown in terms of content, or it was going to be them trying to fuck with me somehow to get their W back, right?
Dude, it would be like if I honestly like if I in the same scenario I would have done the same thing. If I and it just makes sense even in non-content in a serious situation like where you get in some kind of fight, you don't really know anybody there. It's not like you got your boys with you. It's not like you got like two of your boys with you and you're like, we'll be fine. It's
Right.
like so you kind of have to if you take the dub, it's like leave. You're only going to come back and either get stabbed or jumped by three people. Like next time, like they'll make sure it's not fair, and then they'll at the end of the day they'll go, "You lost." So it's like, no, I'm going to take the win. I'm going to go back to my hotel. I'm going to have a couple cervezas, and I'm going to wait for my flight, and I'm going to stay out of it because, again, like it's a risk to reward thing. There's absolutely no reward if you go back, but the risk is there that what if they? Because again, you know how the internet is, right? If you went back there, it could have been 4 MS-13 guys that fucking jumped you, and the internet the internet, but the internet still would have been like, yeah, Ralph L, dude, Ralph can't even take on 4 fucking MS-13 guys, and you're like they act like they could, you know? Ralph's a bitch, dude. He got beat up by 4 MS-13 gangbangers, and you're like, oh yeah, what a pussy, what a fucking pussy.
Yeah, dude, it's funny. I was arguing in their Discord, like some of the rank and file A-logs were in there, and they're like, "Go back in there, dude! Like, what are you, a bitch?" And da da da, and trying to egg me on to go in there. I'm like, "Look, you have no power over me whatsoever. I'm the one calling the shots now, and I don't like what's on offer as far as me going back in there. So I'm the number one fucking attraction on their fucking bullshit show. I'm the one calling all the shots." There better be a fat check. Like I'm in there. I was in there talking shit the whole fucking time after
cutting a heel promo from an Uber.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like a charity fucking endeavor for me at first, but it ain't charity anymore, right? Like they better fucking deposit a large amount into my account. I'm the one who's setting up all the scenarios. Anyway, none of that happened, and I bounced. So, yeah, it ended up working out, but. It was crazy. Like you said, I had nobody there, right? Like I'm reliant on this guy who just lied to me 3 or 4 fucking times, which is, that's kind of his thing too. Like I get it, but after that, I don't trust a motherfucker, right? I don't trust a motherfucker. I'm in a foreign country, not the foreign country that I live in either. Like, no. Nah.
That's why you're crazier than I am, man. I would never travel. I mean, I'll travel alone all the time, but I don't travel alone to there's certain places where I'm like, all right, I'm not going unless there's like 3 of us. You know what I mean? Like you'd never see me take like a trip to New Orleans by myself or like a trip to Mexico or like Tijuana.
Well,
I would go,
Memphis,
hey, do
Mersh,
2 or 3 of us want? Well, Memphis is another one. I'd go, hey, does 2 or 3 of us want to go to Memphis? Because I'm not going in that bitch alone. Memphis was great. I've been there 3 times. Every time I went, it was awesome. Great. But you got to know how to navigate that place.
There's some places.
You gotta have some, because we're on Rumble. I can say it. You gotta have a little nigga in you if you're gonna go to Memphis to get along out there.
My dad told me when I was a kid, always keep your head on a swivel in Memphis, Tennessee. Like you never know what's gonna happen. Some of the really famous tourist spots like Beale Street, if you just go like right off Beale Street, you might get robbed, you might get stabbed. Like the cops are there on the main, tourism, Beale Street and all that shit. They're guarding you, but if you just stray off just a little bit, you might get stabbed, you might get killed.
Bro, I went a few months before, not a few months before. I went a few months right after the Summer of Love. And it was still dicey, man. That was an interesting choice of place to hang out for a couple of days when right after the Floyd riots. Like, let's go hang out.
They had some riots there in Memphis.
Yeah,
over that shit too, because I remember covering it. Now I didn't go and check it out myself, but I knew some people that lived there, and I talked to them about it. Of course, I still have a bunch of friends there and everything, but yeah, there were riots there over that shit too. So, but
there
yeah,
were riots
that was my
everywhere
story
except pretty much Florida. Oh yeah, no, sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say that's my story about Fish Tank. I wanted to talk about Emholt.
Oh yeah. No, I still have that pulled up. You see that? So you saw the news today, right?
I did. Yes, I did.
What is your expert legal? Now, of course, Ethan Ralph is not an attorney, but he might as well
True.
be with all the time he's spent in court. So, Ralph, what is your?
Also true. I've joked, and this is when Ricada and I were beefing. I don't think he'll mind this joke, and we're on great terms now and everything. But I think I've been in the courtroom more than Nick Ricada, actually.
Okay, but that's a funny joke.
I mean, I think it's true.
I mean, now maybe not so much recently, but you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he may have caught up recently, but it's not even necessarily an insult.
That's
because
funny.
I've been in court since I was 12 years old. Like
that's really funny.
Times.
So, court more than Ricada is very funny.
But M. Holt, and Ricada said it himself on Twitter. Now, he wasn't talking about M. Holt directly. Somebody asked him a hypothetical.
Oh, yeah, I said this earlier on the show. We're talking about Jeff. If my name was Jeff and I was in Minnesota, and then he just wrote out the exact same scenario. Yeah. So
well,
he said what? Conflict of interest or irreconcilable differences are the only two real major. So, like, the way I see it is, and I've already kind of, like, we don't have absolute proof, but this is the way I'm saying he did it because it makes sense. Aaron has this revenge porn shit. It gets suspended till fucking October, whatever. Aaron decides, fucking Hail Mary, I'm going to gag both these assholes. I'm going to get HROs. I don't think he told Todd Peterson at all. I think he went around Todd Peterson's back, or maybe he asked Todd, and Todd said, you leave me out of that shit. And Aaron said, fine, I'm going to go. Aaron went and filed those sloppy HROs himself. Remember all the blank spots that he didn't even bother filling in the info? Then he retained an attorney. So I think, look at the timing. He gets his attorney last week. This is a realistic time frame for the attorney to have had time now over the weekend and to really look at this case. And I just think he's like, no, we're not. Because remember, Nick, and I can say this, Nick said this publicly. They tried to make a deal with Nick. As soon as he got a lawyer, his lawyer contacted Aaron's lawyer, and they tried to make a deal. And I believe Nick's words, respectfully, were "fuck yourself." Was his exact quote.
They were.
So, because he wanted to make a deal, basically saying, "Okay, look, I said some things, you said some things," like one of those things. Like, how about we do a mutual HRO? Was the and Ricada said, respectfully, go fuck your mother. Like, no, I'm gonna get this whole thing thrown out. This is retarded. So I think Aaron's lawyer even knows this is not great, and this whole thing's a mess. And that's what I think. I just think the lawyer's like, I'm not taking this. You can have your money back.
I think the exact same thing, and it's not even Ricada laid it out. It's really those are the only two options, and it's not even money. Like even if you owe a lawyer money, if it's at this like point in the case, they still go to court, right? Like that's not a justification. Like payment owed or anything like that.
No, and he just retained him. So this is not even a fucking...
Well,
it's not a payment issue. I have a feeling, and I genuinely believe, this lawyer is probably not going to take one penny from Aaron. He's probably just took this case, looked at it, and went, here, I don't want anything to do with this. Leave me out of this.
Well, because it's a mess. And another thing I was about to mention is, like, and you just said, Aaron filled all this out on his own. Mm-hmm. No lawyer likes dealing with this shit. I've had to hire lawyers after... representing myself and saying some shit I shouldn't have said. And they're always salty every fucking time. And you should have came to me first. And why did you do this? And why did you do that? And it's always annoying dealing with these fuckers every single time. But they're right. I mean, like, you're mad at yourself, too, because you're thinking, yeah, this fucking asshole prick that I'm paying, 3 bands to or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. It's already annoying to have to talk to this fuck in the first place, but he's right. You know what I mean? Like,
and Aaron better hope to God that he informed Todd Peterson that he was doing this, because what he did was also relevant to what Todd Peterson's doing. Todd Peterson might withdraw. If that happens, Aaron's life's a nightmare. I mean, it's hard.
What's a clusterfuck? People don't. I don't know if they understand. I've been involved with these restraining order situations.
What?
A lot. Actually. I know. Shocking.
You're such a boring guy. I never would have imagined.
Trust no bitch, Mersh. I'll just repeat. But anyway, these things, when you have one of these hearings, they're on the record. So a lot of times the reason you would settle or just accept, a year restraining order or whatever mutual order is because if you have one of these hearings, it's on the record, right? So by accepting a restraining order, you're not saying anything that's being claimed against you is true. So that can't be used against you in a criminal trial, a civil trial, any of that stuff, because you're just saying, well, I'm not admitting to anything. I'm not saying any of it's true, but I'm just going to accept this so we can move on. But if you have one of these hearings, all that shit can be used against you in a criminal trial and a civil trial, which he's also facing civil liability.
He is going to
civil exposure.
This is part of my theory too, is that now that he's done this HRO thing, if they get thrown out, here's Aaron just complicated his situation because as of now, he is involved in one criminal case in which Kayla Rekieta is the victim. So even like, all this shit about, well, Nick's coming after me. This is all coming from Nick and Nick this and Nick that. And trust me, I'm sure Nick's been, on the bench helping to coach the team. I mean, he's, obviously, sure. But it hasn't been coming from Nick up to this point. Nick has never been a victim up until now. Now with this HRO thing, a case could be made that Aaron he's using the court to harass people. And if it's gonna, it's a bold strategy to get an HRO against the husband of a woman you just pled guilty to revenge against. So like,
dude,
all that shit's gonna play in
harassment campaign. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying all that HRO shit's now gonna factor into the criminal side because they can all say, well, this is all relevant to the case. And when it comes to the civil thing, as you just mentioned, there was a cap at one point about really realistically what Kayla and Nick could really seek from Aaron. But now if they can make this as where now Nick's a victim of a ongoing harassment campaign, dude, Aaron's 90-day sentence gets pulled down and can get reinstated. He could get fucking contempt of court. He obviously civilly will now be on the hook for even more money because now he has multiple lawsuits. Like this, he just can't fucking help himself.
Dude, there's so many ways this could go wrong. And he was already, looking down the barrel, perhaps. They put him in jail last time he was in court. That's never a good sign.
No.
Mersh.
But dude, how many times in your life have you seen, and I mean, you've had all-time crash outs. I've had all-time crash outs, not pretending like we haven't. But there have been times where we didn't crash out because there's nothing to be done at the time. And I'm sure you, just like me, there have been moments where you're watching your timeline and basically it looks like your world's on fire at that moment. But sometimes you need to shut the fuck up and just wait. Sometimes it's 3 a.m, nothing can be done. The attorneys are working on shit. There's nothing you can do. It sucks. It's a shitty feeling, but Aaron doesn't know how to just shut the fuck up and chill when there's no move to be made.
He doesn't have that courtroom experience. I mean, he's got, a little bit of it, but honestly,
but this is life experience. This should be basic stuff.
He's always playing games with the court. He's always, doing shit he shouldn't be doing. Like you talked about the other day, he's talking shit about the judges and he's doing all this stuff. It's look, dude, I've went out and said, hey, I don't agree with this decision, but I always say I respect the judge, even if they're complete fucking pricks, which they usually are, to be honest with you, because they're fucking judges. They're used to being pricks, right?
Yeah.
But they hold your life in their hands, and it's never smart to fuck with these people. And even if I've had beef, and I almost always do with the, the people, making complaints and all that shit, I'm always yes, sir, no, sir. Your Honor this, Your Honor that. I just don't think he really understands the system. And I wish I didn't understand it so well, but usually they don't actually really want to put you in jail, honestly. And you can almost always weasel your way out of that shit.
Well, especially when you're a fucking nerd like Aaron. They don't want to wait. They don't want to waste a fucking jail cell on Aaron. They just pay. If anything, they want to squeeze you fucking hard for a couple bucks and. You know what I mean? Get your prints on file and have a little folder on you like they want on everybody, but then they let you go. That's all. A little tap on your social credit score. That's it. It's mostly just money.
Look, the whole thing is a fucking dude. I don't know what he's thinking. He's got his ex-wife lined up to testify. He's got his current fucking whore lined up to testify. he's involved his kid in this.
Dude,
Like, I don't
dragging
know,
all
man.
these
It's just
people in as troll shields in a court of law is a wild strategy. And I just don't know. I said it the other night. I don't know how this chick fucks you at this point. Like, you got
well,
to.
it's embarrassing.
Would you ever be
Yeah.
like, honey, I need you to come into court because people are saying mean words on the internet. I need you to testify as to how scared I am of Patrick Melton. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Like that, how do you do that? How do you tell your chick, I need you to come to court, say, Patrick Melton puts the fear of God in me. And then also later, I want you to suck my dick. Like,
Well,
I don't
this
think
is
you can have
that's
both,
the thing.
buddy.
It's an offensive maneuver by him. Like, I've had bitches go into court. Of course, I only had them tell the truth, Mersh, and never had them lie about anything like that. But I've had them come to court, defensively and say, "Hey, they're saying this about me. I need you to go and tell nothing but the truth and only the truth, right?" And so I've had to do that several times. But as far as
on the defense, I'm not talking about if you're on the defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if your shit's on the line, this is a proactive. He went out of his way to start a fight and go, baby girl, I need you to come in and help me lawfare this guy. It's like, what? That's weird. And one of his witnesses, he's got a fucking sentence hanging over his head for violating an HRO last year with. It's insane.
With his ex-wife that he has testifying there. I
am so excited for Wednesday. And Virgie, my producer, he pointed out earlier, like, because I even said, I'm like, yeah, you could probably try to get a continuance, but like Virgie pointed out, you can't keep getting continuances on an HRO because that's literally has.
There's only one, I think.
Yeah, and those have like tangible fucking real life fucking consequences, and they're supposed to be temporary. So like HROs, you absolutely have to let the respondent respond at some point. So I don't know if Wednesday, I'm trying not to get too excited. I don't know if they'll give him one more continuance, but I can't imagine they will. So I think it's all going to get tossed.
It depends on the jurisdiction, but usually you only get one continuance if you're the plaintiff on a restraining order. And I guess technically the respondent could allow another one, but I mean, do you think Rekieta is going to allow one? I don't think so.
So actually, when you think about it, the only reason this got continued was because Aaron retained a lawyer who went on and read the paperwork in one weekend and came back and said, I'm not your lawyer anymore. So Aaron blew his continuance. So this is like actually calling a timeout at a bad time. This guy just blew one of his timeouts in a fucking finals game. This is bad.
It's bad, and I don't see him getting one. I could be wrong because I don't know Minnesota law as well.
Can somebody look up if Aaron has 1 or 0 timeouts left on the clock, please? I need to know. Oh, I'd be.
If you take a timeout and you don't have one, that's a technical foul. So
he has got to be sweating bullets, man. I would be.
Me too. Like anytime jail's hanging over my head, I'm not happy. I've been to jail for 8 months. I didn't like it. And so I don't want to go back. And I've said this on air. Anything I have to do to stay, well, I mean, minus gay shit, like they were trying to talk about the fish tank. Anything else though, I'm down to do it. I don't give a fuck. So, yeah. And he's a fucking complete coward ass bitch. Like imagine this guy in jail long term. Are you serious? Like,
no, he won't. So, like he's not like cut out for. He's not cut out for 30 days. Like, I mean, I just no. There's certain personalities I know, and that can't like dial back. Like I know if I go to jail right now, I have to dial back my personality a bit, as you would but you know how to. And you're like, all right, keep these. You know what I mean? Aaron doesn't know how to not be Mr. Showman, and like. The last thing anybody wants to be in jail is anybody noticed at all. Nobody wants to notice anybody. Everybody just wants to keep their fucking head down and keep to themselves. So when you're the loud one, look, yeah, and then I got divorced. And then there's this guy, Nick Rekieta, right? He thinks he's like some kind of lawyer. And then we were swapping wives, and then he was doing drugs. But then I told his pastor, and then they went to the cops. It's like, what are you doing, man?
Dude, people just want to do their time in jail. They don't give a fuck what you have going on outside. Now, I mean, you can get to talking to people and have fun or whatever. Fun, quote unquote. Play cards or what have you. But you don't want to be flamboyant in there. You don't want to be the center of attention. And he just doesn't know how to comport himself in those situations. Like I said, for better, for worse, mostly for worse. I've been involved in the system since I was 12 fucking years old. I was in juvenile hall. I've been in jail 2 or 3 days and overnight, and then the 8 months. I just know how to handle myself in those situations, and I was raised around these people, Mersh. The people that you'll see in jail, right? And so I know how to handle myself, and he doesn't. Look where the fuck he's from, dude. The fucking whitest place on earth.
Well, look how he described jail. He's like, "Oh, it was awesome, man. I gave this dude my applesauce," and like everybody was just laughing and joking, and it was like this weird revisiting in his mind of how jail.
Also, that new haircut. Did you see that? I didn't want to leave that out. What?
Oh, what can I get that? Let me pull that up. Oh, that is his sexy, slicked back Vince McMahon kind of.
Dude, he needs to switch back immediately.
No,
Sorry,
no. Let him have it. Let him have it, bro. Let's get him growing a mustache next. Slick back hair, mustache hair. Boom, here. So thorough. Shout out So Thorough Joe Burrow.
That's where I saw it, too. That's exactly
He's a good egg. Yeah, look at that, huh? Sexy man. We have it pulled up now. Yeah, I don't know what he... You know what that is? You know what that is? And I'll tell you what it is. It's I'm sure you'll agree with me, though. Sudden change in like hairstyle. He's fucking panicking right now. Like his whole life's unraveling, and this is what a guy does when he's unraveling. Like new hairstyle, like new car, or something. You know what I mean? Like it's some new leather jacket.
It's about control, Mersh, and like that's one thing he can control is fucking hairstyle, right?
Yeah. Aaron's getting into his soul patch leather jacket phase. I feel like that's coming next. Holy
he looks
shit.
like a greaser, yeah, from the fucking Outsiders or some shit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I did want to comment on that.
I do want to give a shout out to Ricada, though, who has obviously been enjoying many a victory lap lately. And by the way, fuck the Sonotru medallion. That thing can eat shit, huh? That was total bullshit.
Ricada said he was gonna hollow it out and fuck it through the mouth or some shit on Twitter. The other day, I think he should follow through with that. Also, I heard from a little birdie there may be a Ralph voice on Super Tips here.
I was gonna do one, and let's just say I was told not to waste my time, which is good to hear. So yeah, we've been adding a lot of. I was working overtime this weekend adding voices. It's a lot of fun, dude. You should give it a shot because
I have Power Chat, and I love the people at Power Chat, so I'm never gonna drop Power Chat. I've talked to Melton about Super Tips, and I like that service a lot.
And once you figure out how to manipulate it and stuff, obviously, like me personally, I know they have the skip option, which I don't like. Like you pay a certain amount, you can just break through the show. That I have, like, you can't even set that off or on. I just have it set to like $50. So I'm like, yeah, don't interrupt my show. But if you do, it's gonna cost you. But other than that, like, yeah, once you know like set times to do it and like just burn through them, like it's the creativity it allows is a lot. Like I just added Grady Judd, the sheriff, as one of the voices. We got Kevin Nash. We got Gino from the whole fucking show. He's one of our guys.
Wait, you added Nash too?
Yeah, well, legally no. It's
oh yeah.
I have an animated drawn character named Big Lazy.
I got it.
But no, the reason I brought up Ricada, though, I just wanted to say, like, the funniest thing he had to say about this all day about Kiwi Farms was they can't even fathom that they've been wrong. Have you seen the Kiwi Cope about Ricada today? It's been off the charts.
No, I haven't checked in actually on that, but I wanted to because I saw they were trying to say he doxed him and all this gay shit. At least that's what they were saying on Twitter. I didn't see what they were saying on their faggot site.
Yeah, it's just been a whole lot of like, I don't understand. What does the judge not understand? Like, what does this lawyer not understand? Why is this happening? Like, it's like, this should be such an easy win for Aaron. They're all just like,
well, it was their idea for him to do this, dude, which was totally retarded from the start. Like, they're like, why doesn't he just file restraining orders on Ricada and Melton? And then he went and did that dumb shit because he read it on Kiwi Farms, dude. That's where he got his legal advice from.
Yeah, the only people that have benefited really from any of this shit has been streamers and local lawyers in Stearns County and Candy-Ojai County.
Yeah.
Like, none of these people ever got the body cam footage they wanted. They're not getting the outcomes they wanted. It's just a bunch of lawyers that are going to be collecting fucking stacks.
It's always them too. When you get involved in this legal shit, man, and it's not. Well, I guess it's partially criminal for Aaron, but this isn't criminal. This is some shit he brought up on his own. It's in a civil setting, and no telling how much he's already invested in all this. I don't know. Don't take legal advice from Kiwi Farms because they're fucking retarded. They're all faggots, and they should all go kill themselves. And if you're taking your legal advice from there, you're even dumber than they are. So I don't know what else to say, honestly.
It's been their speculation has been so much fun. Like the fantasy scenarios that they come up with that they've done for you, obviously. But now that like lately, what they've done with Ricada, it's been so like I was credibly informed by these people like a year ago that Ricada would be in prison,
Right.
that Kayla would be gone, that her and the kids would enter witness protection program and they would be living under assumed identities. And then Nick Ricada would get murdered in prison as part of some gang retaliation. And it's like, it's always this crazy fan fiction. And then it's just like, okay, we'll set a continuance for a hearing on next Tuesday. And then the prosecution calls you and they're like, let's just eat this charge and then whatever. And you're like, all right. That's what I've been trying to manage expectations with people for years. Like whenever these things break out, I'm like, guys, don't get too excited. Like, unless the dude is a fucking cannibal gang leader, like the system's broken. Like you pretty much just walk on anything. So unless you kill somebody, you're walking.
Well, that's what I try to tell these people. They don't want to hear it though. I called it fanfic farms for a reason. They have all these deep scenarios and then they start, it's like a fetish for these people, right? And they start thinking about the permutations and what could happen. And this person I really hate could get killed. He could get raped, and all this crazy shit. And none of that ever happens. Like almost always nothing ever happens with this shit. I was going to go to jail 1,500 times. They still have scenarios where I'm going to go to jail. It's just fucking retarded.
But it's like even you can even see the bias in because of obviously how much Ricada is disliked on the farms. And by the way, I remember when they all used to suck his fucking dick. You guys loved Nick Ricada. The only reason you fucking turned on him was because you thought he was your internet dad and it broke your heart when he turned out he'd like to fucking have fun.
And Josh Moon told him to. Like, that's what it usually is, too. Like, that was part of it. Like, and Josh Moon was propped up by Ricada for years. Their site was, almost killed off several times, and Ricada would have this guy on to shake his tin cup and rally the troops. If anybody should be kissing Nick Ricada's feet, it's Josh Moon, and he stabbed him in the back instead. So
yeah, all to satisfy the mob. And I made this fucking analogy before, but like it's almost like fucking Venom at this point. Like Kiwi Farms has become this like symbiote that's like attached to Josh, and they've become one now. And it's like his audience doesn't even like look like the audience of old. It's become this new weird bastardized thing, but he has to pander to them to stay. Like even when he started streaming, that was one of those like where you're like, oh no, buddy, like you're becoming one of the people that you hate, like the guys that go on and shake the tin cup and stream, and like I thought you weren't that guy, bro. But the obvious biases on the site, like they all hate Ricada, so like Aaron Imholt's cool. And then like they all hate Ricada, so Kino Casino is cool, even though Worski has done some goddamn on the record repugnant shit. It's just weird.
He's a rapist and a child murderer, like by his own admission. And that's just the stuff he doesn't, that he denies. We're leaving that out. Him trying to fuck 15-year-olds and
the Snapchat shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the shit he denies. Like, just leave that out. He's on the record admitted rapist. He's on rapist. He's on the record admitted abortionist. Sang songs about killing his child. I don't know. It doesn't get too much more fucked up than that.
It's funny to me that people go, "Oh, I don't believe it." Worski denied the Snapchat shit, and I believe him. And it's like he's one of the most like he is like out of everybody from the sector. Andy Worski is definitely the worst serial coomer out of anybody. Like, he had a show where he reviewed OnlyFans. Like, he's always been a perpetual coomer. So why is it too out of line to think that conversation was real?
Well, he used to salivate over trannies as well.
That's what I mean. When I say coomer, I mean he's an indiscriminate coomer. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like you get at a titty bar, time and a place, and you're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I might eat this bitch's pussy in a VIP room. Who knows? I'm a dog too. But like, there's a difference between that and like out on the prowl, always cooming to stuff. Like when I'm on the internet, I'm usually like looking up articles, I'm watching TV shows or movies, or I'm playing a video game. But like he just always had that vibe of somebody that's on the prowl for another coom. It's like I don't like people like that. Like really sex crazed people always kind of creep me out. Like, you know what I mean? Like just serial coomers creep me out.
He's like an insatiable coomer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he is, and he always has been. And yeah, I'm not buying it. At first, I did buy it, the whole Snapchat thing, but the more I've seen since, I don't buy it. But yeah, I don't know. He's redeemable. The guy who spread his asshole on air and tortured cats, and
Wait, what? Wait,
yeah,
whoa,
he
whoa,
fucked
whoa.
a cat with a fucking like piece of steel rod up the ass until he killed it.
Okay, but is this more,
I mean, that's what Surfer said on my show. Like, unless Surfer made that up, which I don't think he did.
Because I mean, a lot of people on the internet love to make really wild tales about people.
Surfer's. This is Surfer, the guy he lived with for like 8 years or whatever, his best friend. I mean, he could have made it up,
but you know how these motherfuckers do snake each other sometimes, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
they got fucking.
It's possible, so but I'm just saying, I'm like, just wondering, very
if it's true, then he's irredeemable. He's a piece of shit. The only reason I ask is because everything else about PPP, to this day, I'm like, I've never really had the distaste for PPP that I've had for Warski.
He's a complete liar, dude. Like he made up shit about me getting him kicked out of his church, which I never did, and also that church is just it was his grandpa's house before, but now I think it's his uncle. It's just some fucking house. Like it's not even a real church. You know what I mean? It's like some fucking faggot motherfuckers who said, "Oh, this is a church now," so they can shield their money from taxes. Even in Canada, there's a fucking tax thing for that. So it
it's
wasn't
like
even
some
a real
creepy
church
backwoods, like fucking Canadian, like the kind of cult you see in those A24 movies.
Yeah, well, go look at his family. Like I did after all this happened. But yeah, he just made that up out of thin air. There's no bigger fucking piece of shit liar than him, except maybe Warski. So I guess it makes sense that they're partners now. But that fat piece of shit, don't give him any fucking leeway. Trust me, this guy.
Oh, and the fucking and the Medicare shit, the VTuber shit. That's another thing they've been sweeping up for over there. Like Josh has been going hard for Medicare lately. Like he just won't even let the topic be discussed. Which, when was that ever a thing at Kiwi Farms?
Well, so he wants to. By the way, this was me who started the whole war on VTubers. This is Josh.
I will agree. I will agree only because I jumped in on it very quickly, and it was because of you. Yeah,
I mean, it's not even me pumping my ego. I was the one who started all this, and then I got tired of it after about a month. Yeah, no, it was just a fucking Gator. But yeah, it was me who started. I kind of got, I won't say tired of it, but ADHD, whatever. And I still focus on it every once in a while, but not that much. Anyway, Josh picked up the ball, which I was fine with. Fuck these pedo bait faggots. But you can't have it both ways. You're calling out the VTubers, but it's okay if Daddy Jim's out there watching it and
having them on and platforming them, and then they're retweeting like, because then he's doing the whole, well, I don't like Lolly. Okay, but you're bringing people on that retweet it and encourage it and proliferate it. So it's like, why would you? I don't know, man. It just seems like a weird thing to me, and it just seems like more of like a last ditch. Like the Medicare, I think the Medicare brand is fading. Like a lot of brands fade over time. You could see it in the numbers. And I think this is like one last little fucking psyop to just fuck up whatever's last of the Sweetie Squad and make them even bigger reprobates, which they already are.
Plus, Medicare doesn't really have the ability to reinvent himself or, go in new directions. It's the same fucking persona, and it has been for whatever 10 plus years now. And I'm a big believer in you can reinvent yourself. You can go into new areas. You can get back, maybe not to where you were exactly, but you can just kind of change things, right? If you're that skilled. And he's not. He's always been a one-trick pony faggot. And so now he's just leaning into complete degeneracy, Coomerism, like we were talking
Yeah,
about. So.
which again bugs me when I think about, if this guy's supposedly dying or whatever, which I never believed.
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't you want to steer away like towards things like, I don't know, more meaningful at this point if you knew you were gonna not have much time in this planet? Like, would you be really just jacking off to, cartoon little girls with fucking, pigeon wings or whatever? Or are you gonna, like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, he doesn't seemingly have that ability to talk about anything of substance.
I can't wait to get my hands on Ralph at SummerSlam. He can possibly keep up with my cardio, and with Kevin in my corner, I just can't lose.
Okay, sorry, that was anonymous. That was $100. So that was Gino saying, "I can't wait to get my hands on Ralph at SummerSlam. He can possibly keep up with my cardio, and Kevin in my corner, I can't lose." Wow, thank you for the $100.
Like, what is going on?
I was like, I actually got like I got angry for a second, where I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I realized, oh, somebody really did pay the fucking $100.
I thought you accidentally played a Nash video or something, like in the, in the bar. Not Kevin Nash.
That was supertip.gg. If somebody really wants to pay the fucking the minimum fee, I guess they can interrupt.
Yeah,
me.
dude, get that money. I don't give a fuck. But it just scared me for a second. I was like, what just happened?
I got startled. I got startled, and it was Gino's voice, which was creeping me out. But so anyway, when are you getting back?
I'll be back on Wednesday, and the show should be back on Thursday. So the detour will be over. There was some, we got the fun moment of me punching 2 faggots.
So what are you gonna do? You're just holding up in El Salvador for a couple of days?
Yeah, well, I went around the capital today and saw the cathedral, and there's also this what is it, Iglesia Rosarita, El Iglesia Rosarita, whatever. It's a church with like this unique stained glass. I like shit like this, Mersh.
Like, I don't know, some shit the Spaniards built fucking 200 years ago.
Yeah. It's probably like a fucking burial mound.
No, I love that shit too, though. No, anything that's like, I even in America, when you get to go to like some of the, first 13 colony towns where you get to see like old shit to me is just, I don't know. It is nice. And when you get to see the old cathedral, and especially down there where they, you know what I mean? You got those fucking cobblestone roads and the fucking stonework that's like meticulously done. Yeah, that shit's awesome, dude. I mean, nowadays,
I love that shit.
Nowadays, we live in these fucking depressing glass boxes. So, yeah, that shit's always awesome.
Well, that's another point. Yeah, the brutalism and the modern architecture mostly sucks ass. And so, I've been around the world and seen a lot of museums and a lot of cathedrals. And so I figured I might as well see a couple here. And the Palacio National Palace, not Palace. I didn't get to see that because it was closed today, so I might try to see that tomorrow and a couple other things. I don't know, just seeing the city a little bit since I'm already here.